David Livingstone was a remarkable man. He was a Scottish missionary and explorer. He dedicated his life to understanding and serving Africa. His name resonates even today. Livingstone's journeys across Africa are legendary. Livingstone's explorations were groundbreaking. He traversed vast uncharted territories. He mapped rivers, mountains, and lakes. He meticulously documented his findings. His work expanded European knowledge of the African continent immensely. He is a key figure in the history of African exploration. Livingstone was not just an explorer, he was a passionate missionary. He believed in sharing his faith. He aimed to improve the lives of Africans. He combined exploration with his missionary work. He established missions and preached throughout his travels. Livingstone's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He is celebrated as a hero. He is also criticized for his role in colonialism. His impact on Africa is still debated. However, one thing remains certain. David Livingstone left an indelible mark on history. David Livingstone was born in 1813 in Blantyre, Scotland. He grew up in a humble working-class family. From a young age, he displayed a thirst for knowledge and adventure. He worked in a cotton mill from the age of 10. Livingstone was a dedicated student. He attended evening classes. His desire to learn and explore grew stronger. He was fascinated by stories of faraway lands. He became a devout Christian. Inspired by missionary Robert Moffat's Tales of Africa, Livingstone set his sights on the continent. In 1841, Livingstone arrived in Africa for the first time. He began his missionary work. He also started exploring the interior of southern Africa. He traveled extensively. He interacted with local communities. He learned African languages and customs. Livingstone embarked on several expeditions throughout the 1840s and 1850s. He traversed vast distances. He charted unexplored regions. He meticulously documented his discoveries. He sent detailed reports back to Europe. One of his most significant early achievements was the discovery of Lake Ngami in 1849. This was a major geographical breakthrough. It expanded European knowledge of Africa's interior. It cemented Livingstone's reputation as a skilled explorer. Livingstone was the first European to cross the Kalahari Desert. This was a grueling journey. It tested his endurance and resilience. He persevered despite the hardships. He continued to push the boundaries of European exploration in Africa. In 1854, Livingstone embarked on one of his most ambitious expeditions, the exploration of the Zambezi River. He aimed to navigate the river's entire length. He wanted to assess its potential as a trade route. He hoped this would open up Central Africa to European commerce and Christianity. During this expedition, Livingstone discovered the magnificent Victoria Falls. He named it after Queen Victoria. It was a breathtaking sight. He was awestruck by its beauty and power. Livingstone's Zambezi expedition was fraught with challenges. He faced numerous obstacles. He encountered difficult terrain. He battled illnesses. He navigated complex political landscapes. Yet he pressed on, driven by his determination and unwavering spirit. The Zambezi expedition, while groundbreaking, ultimately did not achieve its primary goal. The river proved unsuitable for large-scale navigation. However, it significantly expanded European knowledge of Central Africa. It further solidified Livingstone's reputation as a fearless explorer. Section 5. The search for the Nile source, a lifelong quest. The search for the source of the Nile River became Livingstone's consuming passion. He believed that discovering the source held the key to understanding Africa's geography and its potential. He dedicated much of his later life to this quest. He embarked on multiple expeditions in pursuit of this elusive goal. Livingstone's quest for the Nile source took him to the Great Lakes region of Africa. He explored Lake Tanganyika. He discovered Lake Malawi. He charted vast swathes of unknown territory. He pushed deeper into the heart of Africa. Despite his relentless efforts, Livingstone never found the true source of the Nile. He faced numerous obstacles. He encountered hostile tribes. He struggled with dwindling supplies and deteriorating health. Yet his determination never wavered. Livingstone's search for the Nile's source, though ultimately unsuccessful, contributed significantly to geographical knowledge. His explorations expanded European understanding of the Great Lakes region. He paved the way for future explorers. Section 6. Challenges and dangers, Livingstone's resilience. Livingstone's expeditions were fraught with dangers. He faced numerous challenges. He confronted wild animals. He battled tropical diseases. He endured extreme weather conditions. He navigated treacherous terrain. Livingstone suffered from malaria numerous times. He contracted other tropical illnesses. His health suffered greatly. He demonstrated remarkable resilience. He pushed through physical and mental hardships. He faced hostile encounters with local tribes. He was often misunderstood. He faced suspicion and hostility. He relied on his diplomacy and communication skills. He built relationships with local communities. Livingstone was attacked by a lion. He was severely injured. He carried the scars of this encounter for the rest of his life. This near-death experience did not deter him. It strengthened his resolve. Section 7. Missionary work, spreading faith and compassion. Livingstone's primary motivation for exploring Africa was his deep-seated religious conviction. He was a devout Christian. He believed in the power of the gospel. He felt a calling to spread Christianity throughout Africa. Livingstone established missions throughout his travels. He preached to local communities. He translated hymns and biblical texts into African languages. He sought to integrate his faith with his explorations. Livingstone provided medical care to Africans. He treated illnesses. He shared his medical knowledge. He saw his medical work as an integral part of his missionary efforts. He believed in demonstrating his faith through practical acts of service. He emphasized the importance of education. He established schools. He taught basic literacy and numeracy. He believed education was essential for uplifting African communities. He saw it as a crucial tool for social and economic development. Section 8. Abolitionist advocacy, fighting the slave trade. Livingstone witnessed the horrors of the Arab slave trade firsthand. He was deeply disturbed by the cruelty and injustice. He became a staunch advocate for its abolition. He used his platform to speak out against this inhumane practice. Livingstone documented the devastating impact of the slave trade on African communities. He described the brutal treatment of enslaved people. He highlighted the economic and social disruption caused by slave raids. He sought to raise awareness in Europe about the atrocities he witnessed. He believed that ending the slave trade required a multifaceted approach. He advocated for legitimate commerce. He promoted the development of alternative trade routes. He believed this would undermine the economic incentives for slave trading. Livingstone's writings and public speeches played a significant role in raising awareness about the slave trade. His powerful accounts of its horrors galvanized public opinion in Europe. It contributed to the growing abolitionist movement. His voice added weight to the calls for an end to this inhumane practice. Section 9. The Stanley Livingstone Encounter, a historic meeting. In 1871, journalist Henry Morton Stanley was sent by the New York Herald to find David Livingstone. Livingstone had been out of contact with Europe for several years. His whereabouts were unknown. Stanley's mission was to locate the missing explorer. Stanley embarked on a challenging journey into the heart of Africa. He followed Livingstone's trail. He faced numerous obstacles. He persevered despite the hardships. He was determined to find the legendary explorer. Stanley finally located Livingstone in Ujiji on the shores of Lake Tanganyika. Their meeting became one of the most famous encounters in the history of exploration. Stanley's greeting, "Dr. Livingstone, I presume," became an iconic phrase. The Stanley Livingstone encounter renewed public interest in Livingstone's work. It brought his explorations back into the spotlight. It sparked renewed efforts to support his mission. It also highlighted the importance of exploration and discovery. Section 10. Livingstone's final days and legacy, an enduring impact. Livingstone continued his explorations after his meeting with Stanley. His health was declining. He pushed himself to the limits of his endurance. His quest for the Nile source remained his driving force. Livingstone died in 1873 in Chief Chitambo's village in present-day Zambia. His body was carried back to the coast by his loyal African companions. He was buried in Westminster Abbey in London. His death marked the end of an era in African exploration. Livingstone's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He is celebrated as a hero. He is also criticized for his role in opening up Africa to European colonialism. His impact on Africa is still debated today. Livingstone's exploration significantly expanded European geographical knowledge of Africa. He mapped vast uncharted territories. He documented the continent's diverse cultures and natural wonders. His work laid the foundation for future exploration and scientific research. The undying spirit of exploration. David Livingstone's life was a testament to the enduring human spirit of exploration. He dedicated his life to uncovering the mysteries of Africa. He faced incredible challenges and never gave up. His contributions to geography, missionary work, and abolition are undeniable. He left an indelible mark on history. His legacy continues to inspire generations. Livingstone's story reminds us of the power of curiosity. He inspires us to pursue our dreams with passion and determination.